Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jess. I'm the creator of BehatiLife. Thank you so much for tuning in again. So I'm actually really excited again, which you guys always know I'm so excited like every single week because there's always something going on. But I've made some real serious crazy changes for my schedule in order to be able to get these things out to you every week, these astrology reports. Now this is something that has been long asked about for a very long time. I started off doing tarot daily pulls years ago and had to kind of steer away from it within the last year and a half because there's so much going on within the apothecary and with my personal one-on-one readings. But I'm here now and I'm really excited to be able to get these out to you on a more consistent basis, even though I'm starting late this week. But just know that from moving forward into the future, you can tune into the YouTube channel and get these weekly reports, probably published around Saturday or Sunday, and they will be detailing the week ahead for starting from Monday to and ending on Sunday in a way that you can understand astrology, have it fully explained to you, and also I wanted to make sure that it was something that everyone can use at this point in work and my schedule. I'm not able to do everyone's specific astrology chart or astrology signs, but I do want to do across the board, okay? So thank you so much for being patient with me while I worked on this for you, but just know that they're here now and I'm really excited to get started. So that being said, let's get started. If you see me looking in this direction, it's because my laptop is here and I have the chart for the week pulled up. I also have my phone in front of me and then I have some notes, and I also have my calendar because I'm Virgo, I'm a perfectionist, and I need it to be perfect with everything that I do, and that's just how I roll. That's how I do my business. I'm a perfectionist. Okay, so let's get started. So like I said before, this astrology report reading for the week of May 29th through June 4th is for all of us across the board, no matter what your sun sign is or your ascendant sign or your moon sign or whatever the case may be. It's just the influence and where the planets are currently right now as they're moving through our galaxy and how they're influencing and impacting us within this moment and what you can expect. So this is, again, for everybody. No one gets excluded. Okay, so the first thing that I saw that drew my attention for Monday, the 29th, was the fact that Mercury, the planet of communication, is sitting within the sign of Taurus and is getting a really nice supportive beam from the planet Neptune. Now, Neptune rules illusion and fantasy, and Mercury rules the mind and how we think about things. So when the planets are in positive aspect to each other, this shows that the energies of those two planets are working in cahoots and they vibe really, really well. So if you have illusion and fantasy, and if you have the mind and your thinking, then when you push those two together, the 29th through, the 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st, I think are really good times to brainstorm, to think of good ideas, to visualize, to conceptualize, to be creative, to write, and to be expressive. Why? Because Mercury rules communication and writing, and Neptune says, okay, now my imagination is being stimulated and I can come up with just really crazy ideas that are just so brilliant and so good. So I saw that first and foremost. The second thing that I saw is the 30th. So the 30th is a Tuesday. Actually, yeah, no, let's skip that. So the 31st. So the 31st, Mercury comes into a perfect trine with Pluto. Pluto in this case is retrograde, but Pluto rules transformation, rebirth, death, and destruction. And Mercury, again, rules the mind activity, thoughts, communication. So this is a perfect day. This is the 31st. Yeah, so 31st, the 1st of June, and Tuesday. This is the 30th are great times, and maybe even the 2nd, just a little bit. The 2nd is a little wide, but I still see it being good. So these are great days in order for you to make some serious decisions, long-term decisions, thinking long-term, thinking about changing things, asking for advice, getting counsel, thinking about how you want to change, how you want to shift, how you want to not expand, but grow deeply, deeply, deeply grow, and how you want to go about doing it. So I also think that in this way, for a lot of people, the way that you communicate with others, it can be completely transformative, and it can be deeply felt, and it can be profound, but in a good, positive way. So this is a good time to have a conversation with a boss. This is a good time to have a conversation with a partner. Let's say you have something that you need to express, or something that you need to have changed, or to be examined or evaluated, or to switch up in a positive way. These days, the 30th, the 31st, and the 1st of June are really, really excellent for putting something into writing and having like a positive effect come from it. Okay, why again writing, and why talking and communicating? Because these are the things that Mercury rules. The other thing that I see within this week is the fact that Mercury is falling within the sign of Taurus, and Mercury again falling within the sign of Taurus says slow and steady wins the race. Think about quality of life, think about luxury, think about security, and also your happiness, the things that bring you joy, but not rushing things or pushing things through, because last month and the last few weeks have been like so mental, so much air, so much fire. So there's been a lot of movement, a lot of activity, but in some ways it's been a lot of talk, no action, and in some ways it's like action, not thinking. So in this case, this is the week where things start to slow down and things start to ground a little bit. So we're having a lot of those ideas that came from last month, and that activity that came from last month. Now we're wanting to ground it and make it more serious and implement it and take action without forcing and pushing, because last month was all about just this like fire, like fire sign, fire energy, explosive change, transformation, and last year was all about evolving and growth, and a lot of you guys were challenged. But now this week, and this time, in this moment, I see things kind of needing to slow down a little bit. Yeah, things needing to slow down a little bit. Yeah, totally. Okay. So, what else do I see? So, there was something that I saw earlier, and I wanted to talk about it. Last week too, and I know we're talking about this week, but this is something that I wanted to talk about. Last week, Venus, the planet that rules relationships, beauty, aesthetic, attraction, love, those types of things, values, money, was in a really tense square with Pluto, the planet of transformation, but also death. But like when it's in this kind of position, you can get like borderline obsessive and possessive and just like tweaked when it comes to love relationships. For some of you guys, there might have been relationship breakups, or like just real weird relationship dynamics that felt really uncomfortable. So that's another thing that I really want us to incorporate into this week, is the fact that it's time for us to take it slow, for us to trust, for us to ground ourselves from that kind of like shaky ground territory that we were just walking out of last week. Like last week was a little tough. For some of you guys, you had like really great breakthrough moments, but at the same time, for a lot of you, you might have truly had like days where you felt like really uncomfortable, or had to deal with difficult situations, or like mentally just kind of burning yourself out, or thinking a million things in one time. So that's something that I wanted to bring to our attention now. Again, why that's so important, because last week was so much going on, and this week it's like, okay, well, let's ground ourselves and let's get serious and let's take our times. We don't want to force. We don't want to push. Why do I say that too? Because the sun currently sits within the sign of Gemini. The sun represents life energy, life force, and it's also, the sun is the center of the universe. It brings light. It's kind of where our focus kind of goes. Within the sign of Gemini, this is about attention to detail. It's about finding detail, finding the facts, digging, doing the research. So again, that's mental activity. But the sun for this week and moving into the next week, is squaring Neptune. Remember, the planet Neptune represents illusion. So in this case, I really want us to be clear clear as day about what it is that we want, but it's kind of hard to see, and it's kind of hard to know, and it's kind of hard to feel and be exact about what it is that you want and what it is that you're doing and what it is that's going on. Why? Because Sun and Neptune are kind of squaring each other, so that creates this kind of illusion and this weirdness. Yeah, so that's something else to be aware of. So I just say that in some ways you really want to do some digging and some research and get into the bones of what it is that you're trying to accomplish and what it is that you're trying to do for this week. Decisions that you're making, relationships, working them out. You don't want to force, you don't want to push. Yeah, you want to trust, and you want to make sure that the foundation that you have is firm, and that's and something that you can build upon, and that's not something that happens overnight. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, the other thing that I see is the 3rd. So on the 3rd, on the 3rd of June, the Sun in Gemini is trimed Jupiter, the planet of expansion. Now, Jupiter falling within the sign of Libra. So this shows me that this is a perfect time for you to think about expanding, for you to thinking about growth. And also, this gives a really good feeling across the board just throughout your day. So a lot of people are going to be like feeling super optimistic, super positive. They have their eyes on the future. Anything's possible. They're looking worldly, globally. The sky is the limit. And then some. So that's going to be a really good day. The 3rd is a Saturday. I feel like I'm missing something. Maybe not. The other thing that's going to be happening this week is the fact that Mars, the planet of drive, action, force, energy, activity, is moving from the sign of Gemini into the sign of Cancer. Now, Mars shows how we go about doing things. It shows our activity, and again, it helps to paint a picture of where our focus goes. So Mars is within the sign of Cancer, can make some people feel, even though for some people this is a little controversial with other astrologers, but I'm just going with what I have seen and what I have in my own studies, what I can predict, and what I have noted is that when Mars, even though it doesn't rule emotions, when it falls into the sign of Cancer, for a lot of people like Cancer, water signs, and earth signs, they kind of feel it, especially water signs, because Mars does not sit comfortably within the sign of Cancer, and it can hurt Cancer people or emotional people, or people who become sensitive to things people say, or perceptive to the environment and environmental changes, because Mars does not fall comfortably within the sign of Cancer, which means that it's not operating at its best self, if that makes any sense. So when this happens, I think that for a positive thing, you're gonna see a lot more shift on activity within the home, activity with family, activity with children, cooking, those types of things, like home type of stuff, because that's the stuff that Cancer rules. On the same token, Cancer is known for emotional swinging, emotional instability. Not to say that we're crazy. I'm Cancer ascendant myself, so my moods change with the moon, truthfully. So basically what this shows me is that your action, your energy kind of changes depending on your moods, is influenced by your moods. So just kind of prepare for those ups and downs, those fluxes and influxes. Okay? That will... Yeah. The other thing that I see, this is kind of further on down the line, but Venus is preparing to move into her sign of Taurus. So again, this is about luxury. Venus rules beauty, aesthetic, luxury values, and those types of things. So this again shows that focus on quality stuff, and taking time to stop and smell the flowers is something that I love about Venus and Taurus energy. Enjoying the small things, finding pleasure, quality of life, higher quality, just in general. One thing that I see for this week that I want us to be aware of is that I want to say that 2nd, 3rd, 4th, Venus sitting within the sign of Aries right now, which she's not comfortable in, but it is what it is. you may have she's about to conjoin on the planet Uranus. And Uranus is all about surprise, breaking away, unexpected developments. Now, Venus sitting within Aries can make her more, she's not comfortable because she's more apt to and prone to want to receive attention. But when Venus is falling within the sign of Aries, this is more about the go-getter, the person who wants to go after what it is that they want. So that's how you go after the things that you value. So, and that's how you, the things that you love, that's how it's, your energy kind of vibes with that, if that makes any sense. But Venus is about to shift right on top of Uranus. And when that happens, and I say this for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, you can expect on the 2nd of June, on the 3rd of June, on the 4th of June, 5th of June, 6th of June, a little wide. Let's make it as wide as possible. You can expect random, unexpected things happening with relationships. So sometimes this can be breakups. Venus is squaring Pluto too, but it's a little wide. Meaning that Venus kind of escapes the energy of Pluto just a little bit, but there still might be the influence. But if there is a breakup, if there is a shift, if there is some type of erratic change, or if you hear some type of news, or for a lot of people, like let's say you're an Aquarius, this is like you have Venus in Aquarius, or you're an Aquarius person, then this is the time when you'll see your partner backing away from you, or you will be backing away because you need space. That's the thing about Venus when it moves on top of Uranus, like it just kind of, and within the sign of Aries, I see this as someone who needs to break away, needs space, needs to do their own thing. So if you see that, don't panic. Don't freak out. Allow your partner or allow yourself to have the space that is needed for you to do what you got to do. There's nothing wrong with that. It's totally okay. It'll only be for like a week or so. For some of you guys, you might actually have relationship breakups because it's like, aha, like this is what I want, this is what I love, this is what I don't love, and I have to value that, and it's going to be impulsive. It's going to be something that's just someone doing what they have to do for themselves, and they're not factoring in other things or other people. The good thing that I see from this is that Saturn is trining Uranus and Venus. So I think that the decisions that are made during this time, they're going to be something that, even though it might be impulsive or it might be kind of erratic or unexpected, they're for the good for the long term. So at the end of the day, you just truly have to trust. You have to trust that the changes that are being made here are for the better, that they're here to mature you, they're here to develop you and to make you a better person. And also long term, it's great for relationships. If especially if you're serious about someone and you want a long-term relationship, Saturn thinks about the future and wants you to be prepared for the future and wants your partner to be prepared because they're thinking about forever. So if you have someone who like comes out of the blue, this is someone who could have long-term potential for you, but also you want to take your time in getting to know them. If, let's say, you're in a relationship now and there's a breakup, just trust that, or if they need space, or if they come up with some random idea that they think is going to make the relationship better, just trust it. Go with it. Okay, is there anything that I'm missing? Nope, that's pretty much it. Duh. The tarot cards for this day. Wow, actually, now that I think about it, for this week, this actually makes a lot of sense. So the cards that I pulled for this week are the King of Wands and the Two of Wands. And this King of Wands makes so much sense for what we've got going on here. So this is fire energy. This is a passionate person. He's a leader. He's exciting. He's the life of the party. And with Venus falling within the sign of Aries, which Aries is actually rules this card, Venus sitting on top of Uranus saying, I need my space. I want to do things differently. I want to think outside of the box. I want to switch our relationship out. I want to have fun. I want to do this. I want to do this. So it's all about the bigger vision and making things exciting. Is so King of Wands energy. So I think for a lot of people, you are going to also this is a person who works for themselves, does what they love, is passionate, is a leader, is not afraid to switch things up, to spark a revolution, to lead a revolution, he's a passionate person. So that's the other thing too, is I think that a lot of people are thinking about security and long-term vision and businesses and striking free and striking fresh. They're thinking outside of the box. They're coming up with ideas. They're being brilliant. They're allowing their vision, their light to shine. So that is what I see for this week, is this King of Wands energy. So I don't know if for you this represents a person within your life that's going to come in as a mentor who's going to inspire you and keep you motivated and going, or if it's going to be a message for you that says, look, it's time for you to be a leader of your own life. It's time for you to do what is best for you. It's time for you to follow your passions. It's time for you to be fearless. It's time for you to put yourself out there. It's time for you to take a risk. It's time to believe in yourself and to build upon that belief of yourself, because you have what it takes. The other thing that I see too is for a lot of people, it's this Two of Wands energy. Now, this is a person who's like, okay, what do I have here? What do I have? What are my resources? What am I working with? And from that, what do I want to, what is my vision? What do I see for myself? How can I use what I have in order to get what it is that I want? Okay, so that's what I see here is, and you put these two cards together and you have someone that says, look, believe in yourself, take that risk, be fearless, put yourself out there and decide. Maybe not make action right now because, again, Mercury moving through the sign of Taurus says slow, steady, thinking about things, being practical, being logical, thinking about quality life, thinking about your happiness. Sun in Gemini says we want to look at facts. We want to do our research. We want to gain information. We want to act upon factual evidence, and we want to act upon our research in order to make the best decision. Maybe not right now. Mars in Gemini is a little erratic too anyway, so I can't really see someone being like making a decisive decision right now, but if they are, it's because it's something they've been thinking about and now they're formulating it and putting it into written word and they're putting it out there. But yeah, so that's something that I see there. Venus sitting within the sign of Aries is very passionate about the things that it loves and cares about and goes for it. What else do I see? Moon sitting right now, moving through the sign of Virgo, says we want facts, we want evidence, we want to make sure that we're leaving no stone unturned, that there's no information that is missed. We want to build from the bottom up. We want to make sure that we're ready. And that's like, again, emotional and feelings, preparing. What else do I see here? Yeah, Pluto sitting with the sign of Capricorn. This is something that's going to be sitting there for years and years. Says, look, where are we maturing? Where are we growing? How are we developing? How are we building and brewing? Yeah, especially Pluto being retrograde now, it's like, okay, well, let's return back to these old places. Let's return back to these old areas that still need growth. And you want to look within your own astrology chart or your natal chart to see where Pluto falls, so you can see where this transformation is happening within your own life. Saturn sitting within the sign of Sagittarius says, think outside of the box, think outside, think big. What is the ultimate vision? That's what you should be working towards. Saturn now retrograde says return back to that ultimate vision. Sometimes this means higher education. Sometimes this means travel. Sometimes this means spirituality. Sometimes this is about, again, that vision, that what you see, the bigger picture. What is it that you want? What is your dream? To return back to that. So all of these things are kind of building up for this movement and for you to become more aware about what it is that you want in your life, how it is that you're changing, how it is that you're evolving. But this week, you're being bold, you're being a leader, you're taking initiative, you're putting yourself out there, you're taking a risk, you're cementing it, you're being confident, you're being awesome, you're being the life of the party, whatever the case may be, and you're deciding, what do I do next? I am the captain of this ship. Where am I taking this ship? So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I will be checking them out because now I have my friendly YouTube app on my phone. Thank God for that. So it makes it so much easier for me to go through your questions and stuff. If you don't want to put it publicly, you can always email me. If you want to work with me one-on-one, you can absolutely do that. That's on my website, BehatiLife.com. All of those links are down below. And make sure that you're following me on Instagram because we have a dope community there. And you need to be a part of it if you love astrology and tarot. You have to. Okay, so I'm out. Know that next week your Astro and Tarot report will be up on the YouTube channel, and please, 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 please like this video if you love it, share it if you love it, and help me to get the message out, because I'm just so excited to start talking about astrology in a way that people can understand and grow from it. Yeah. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sending you all my love, and we'll talk soon. Bye.